Welcome to Bloody Flicks. I'm your host, Pete.
I'm Kyle, and we talk about all things bloody.
And we are going to review the movie
Renfield.
That just came out.
Yep. A couple weeks ago.
And but before that, our new setup of our green screen is still in the works, so we're just going to have to do this video and kind of get along with what we got for now. So sorry about that, the mess right now. I'm moving to our new office area. But Renfield, I was hesitant about seeing. You were going to see regardless. I was kind of hesitant because I wasn't sure how Nicolas Cage would be a vampire. Most people was unsure how Nicolas Cage would be a good vampire, even though he was in another vampire movie before.
Which, that movie I watched, and it sucked.
But that was probably the biggest concern. And you're like, Renfield, what the? So I didn't even pay attention to what the movie was about. I'm sure you did.
Yeah, Dracula's assistant.
I didn't even. I'm like, you know what? I'll go with you. So I don't go to movies during the week that often, but it was a Friday night after work, and I'm like, why not? And have a bro date and go get some popcorn and watch a movie. And there was us and two other people, right?
Yeah.
I think there's like 4 whole people in the theater. If we don't go to theaters are going to close down. It's sad. And how many people were there for Evil Dead?
Oh, there was probably 20, 30 people in that one.
Okay, that's good then. But that was a Thursday, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a Thursday night.
Anyway, back to Renfield. So, Renfield, take us about the world of Renfield.
So, basically, Renfield is about Dracula's assistant, which, if you've seen the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, he has that assistant that, feeds it and brings in people and stuff. So, take it almost 100 years now, because they... basically, in this movie, they redo scenes from the Bela Lugosi one, except it's Nicolas Cage's Dracula instead of Bela Lugosi. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, it's basically the present time. Renfield keeps bringing Dracula victims, whether it be a busload of nuns or cheerleaders. Well, Renfield is kind of tired of being Dracula's bitch, basically, and goes to like a support group to figure out how to...
Well, he's going to lure them to kill him, originally.
Yeah, try to, find ways to break up with Dracula. So that's basically the premise of the movie without getting into a lot of spoilers. So. Yeah,
so spoiler. There might be some spoilers, so we'll say spoiler alert. Yeah, when he goes to actually take this group, because the Dracula needs wholesome people. That's the wholesome blood. Some movies like Once Bitten, you need a virgin blood. He needs wholesome blood, and the do-gooders, good people.
Yeah,
I can't talk. I'm a little tired from last night, but good doers of the day. People with good souls type is what it applies to. And he follows the group that goes to the counseling class that have issues because they want to be better or something. And instead of killing them, he starts taking the class and. Comes back and actually starts realizing that Dracula's, not good for him kind of type thing, and I was pretty surprised by the movie. It was you see Renfield evolve in the movie, which is kind of funny when he starts realizing he don't need Dracula and tries to separate himself. He gets new clothes, gets apartment, paints it. I mean, now the cop, I liked her.
But so like that support group was, I think, for like toxic relationships. Or
it was,
yes.
It
was something like that.
It was.
I didn't quite get what they were.
It's for all kind of relationships. It's to like if you're addicted to drugs, the drugs you're got a hold on you. It's like you're Dracula. It's got a hold on you. You can't get rid of it. You got to break that hold. One had an abusive boyfriend, and then Renfield's in the class. It's like, yeah, he's my ruler, and he goes, oh, so he's like, make a comment, and he's talking about Dracula, and the guy's like thinking that's just a name for like another abusive boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, or boss or whatever, and that was pretty funny. So,
did you know that the girl that kept getting interrupted? She was the main girl in the first Terrifier movie.
Oh, no shit.
Not the one that gets hung upside down, the other one.
Oh,
the one
no
that was
shit.
tied up in the chair, yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't know that either till I seen some article and it showed her, and I'm like, I think that's the chick from Terrifier, and it was.
Yeah, I like at first I wasn't sure if I was going to like the main officer. What's her name? I'm blanking out. She's been in a few things.
The actress name is Aquafina, I guess.
But I didn't like her stern, stout, mean look all the time, but it fit the part. I grew to like it really quick, and actually became really funny. And then the poor guy at the squadron or the police station or whatever office, and she tells him to fuck off.
Well, his name was Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle.
Fuck off, Kyle.
I'm tired of you telling me to fuck off. And then the chief turned, fuck off, Kyle. Shut the fuck up, or something like that. And because unfortunately now, fuck off, Kyle. But that was funny because the poor kid gets it the whole movie. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun movie. We won't get too many spoilers. You need to go see it for sure. I was a doubter, and I tell you what, biggest thing, Nicolas Cage does a great vampire. If it was a horror vampire movie, he would be absolutely one of the best at it. Well, if you redid Bram Stoker's Dracula with Nicolas Cage, it would be just as good as the original.
Honestly, I'm okay with it even being the comedy.
No, I'm not saying that.
Because
I'm saying if it was.
Because Nicolas Cage's personality fit this movie fine. Because, Nicolas Cage is kind of so over the top sometimes.
But I'm saying if it was serious,
See, I don't know if they could pull it off with him.
I think if it was serious, like a Bram Stoker, they did Bram Stoker 2 and Nicolas Cage was the vampire, or did Dracula in that, he would be good serious. But as a comedian, as a comic, as just a vampire, I was impressed. He's the one thing I'm like, this is going to suck with him. And it wasn't. It was awesome. So, yeah. So, there was some good and bad. I know we like Practical Blood. There was CGI. It was a mixed bag of everything. Like, you had the horror effect you had comedy. You had horror because you have blood and kills. You have Dracula, Renfield. You have, the cop, the comedian, comedian.
And it was like kind of an action movie.
Kind of like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Matrix, Mortal Kombat, Matrix, and Dracula kind of all put together. And it worked. Except there's some parts that are kind of weird, but we'll get into that. So what is your likes of Renfield? What is your likes?
Well, the first one, Nicolas Cage as Dracula. This role fits him just fine.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Vampire's Kiss, that like from I think it's late '80s, where he thinks he's a vampire, it's kind of that's like a precursor to this. If you go watch that movie, you'll kind of get what his Dracula is going to be like. That movie itself is not that good. I just watched it like a month or two ago.
It's kind of a forgotten movie.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think I bought it at the Dollar Tree, and I watched it, and I'm like. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is about the best part, but the movie wasn't that good. But the comedy in this, there is some, funny jokes and the stuff that goes on. The kills themselves are actually funny because the way the shit happens.
They're over the top.
They're so over the top, like it's funny. And then, like I said earlier, they redid scenes from the original Dracula with Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult as Dracula in Renfield. So that was kind of cool. That's pretty much it for my likes. What about you?
I was impressed with Nicolas Cage Dracula. I like the black and white beginning original Dracula, how they redid Renfield and Dracula, Nicolas Cage Dracula, and did the exact same scenes with those two. I really like that for some reason because they redid the old time, showing how back in the day, and when you go through time, I mean, vampires don't age because victims keep them young.
Yep.
But his assistant Renfield obviously doesn't age either, so obviously he's had Dracula's blood at one point because Dracula's blood can heal. I thought So yeah, that was good. The kills were good. They were way over the top, but they were still entertaining and fun. The comedy is awesome. There's a lot to like. Yeah, I agree with you. It's about pretty much the same. There's not much that you can dislike in this movie, except for one few little details. But what are your dislikes?
The CGI blood. I mean, it works for this movie because it's supposed to be, it's a comedy. And you can clearly tell it's CGI blood. They don't do that good of a job hiding it. But it does fit well with this movie. I wish they maybe did a little more practical, but, that's my only biggest gripe that I can think of. Well, I think there's a few parts where it's kind of slow. The whole, the police officer and her family about how the drug dealers killed her dad, and I'm like, it was a little like they drew it out too long. Like they made it more like a cop story, where it's like, okay, yeah, her dad was a cop, she's a cop, her dad got killed, and
they set a precedence of why she's so against the mob family or the gang family or whatever it was supposed to be.
Family drama, that was the word I was looking for. There was a little too much family drama between her and her sister. But, it's like, this is a horror movie or a horror comedy, and we're getting family drama in here. But other than that, those are my only dislikes. What about you?
Yeah, I didn't mind. I didn't think that was too much of that, because you got to establish why she's against the, because originally she's against the gang leader in town, the son and the mom that rule the whole town, kind of like a mob type thing. And they got all the cops, the payroll. She can't trust anybody. She only trusts her sister. CGI, I think they had to use because the kills were so outlandish and over the top. I mean, Renfield is flying all over the place, bouncing balcony to balcony and kicking off heads and, making people poop and puke at the same time and all this weird shit. So they had to use CGI, which made the blood go places that made it entertaining. So for this movie, that didn't bother me. The only nitpick I have is that he has to eat bugs. Renfield has to eat bugs, and it gives him almost vampire powers, which almost makes him like 100% vampire powers. It almost made him too powerful. He's doing fucking shit that makes like Jackie Chan look like you or me. I don't get it. Like, it was cool, and it was cool he had powers, but at one point he has a box of bugs, he goes in there, and he's all over the place. You just see him just like a vampire, bam, 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 killing everybody. And then the next one he has to eat an ant farm. I mean, how many ants would you have to eat to freaking equal a bug, let alone, So I don't know if it's the amount of bugs or whatever. That was okay. The biggest issue I had was at the end, their eyes turn yellow when they eat bugs. Then their eyes turn back to normal, but they're still being badass fighters. And then if they eat more bugs, it comes back. So does the power wear down slowly? So you still got some cool vampire ability, even though the bugs are wearing off.
I'm going to take it as, that's
because it's kind of weird. That's the only part that I didn't like. Is like if it runs out, if the bugs run out and your eyes go back to normal, you should be normal. And then eat a bug and then come back. But there's a fight scene at the end where they both were kind of normalized and but still fighting just as good as they were. And then last minute, Renfield eats a bug and turns around and kicks the other guy. And it was like, it kills him. And I'm like, oh, it was still cool, but that was my only gripe, is that they should have done that, explaining a little better, or kind of like either it gives you powers or it doesn't. And he's almost as good as a vampire. I mean, him and Dracula almost kicked each other's ass, which was, they made Renfield too powerful a little bit, but it worked.
Well, I think...
I mean, he wouldn't kill the vampire. Dracula would have kicked his ass. The only reason they stopped it because of the orb, the ring, right? The circle thing. Was the only reason they stopped Dracula.
Well, I think also it helped that the Dracula's power over him. He wasn't going to let Dracula have control over him anymore. I think that his free will, I think, maybe souped him up a little bit more.
Yeah, but that was the only gripe that I had. Other than that, I mean, it was pretty fucking good.
Okay, so what was your favorite kill?
My favorite kill? Well, you and I, we're going to have the same favorite kill. We're gonna have the same favorite kill. So do you want to say the favorite kill?
The kicking him in the stomach and making him shit and puke.
Yeah. So at the very end,
The main drug dealer guy.
yeah,
He's like souped up too, and Renfield like kicks him like in the stomach, and it shows like an X-ray like picture of
the bad guy.
Of the bad guy when he kicks him, where his guts and that like break, and then he pukes and shits blood at the same time and drops dead.
yeah. Because at the last minute, Renfield finds a bug on the floor, eats it. His eyes light up, and he gives a super kick. You see the spine.
Yeah.
Renfield's black. You can see the X-ray, and you can see Renfield's foot go in and break the spine. And as he breaks the spine, you see puke come through the esophagus and a turd come out the anus at the same time. And we're laughing. And that's your favorite kill.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kill. They had some good ones. Had loss of heads. I mean, they did some wicked shit.
Or I like the one where he ripped the guy's arms off and he's like swinging them around like nunchucks and beating the shit out of
And then he throws it and sticks it like across the
Yeah.
balcony of an apartment, and the arm's sticking in the guy
Yeah.
Against the wall. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. Those were so many kills. Good action. Who's the director on this?
Chris McKay. I don't know if he's directed anything else that I've seen. Probably have to look at his IMDb and see what he's done.
He did a good job on this one. And Nicolas Cage, obviously.
And Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult, who played Renfield.
And then the cop was Aquafina. Never even heard of her.
I've seen her before and stuff, but it's like not a main character, but she did a good job. I wouldn't want to piss her off if I was her man, because if she gives that look to you at a home argument, she'll fuck somebody up. But yeah, really good. I suggest you see it. We were talking right away. We were talking about what we're going to rank this movie right there at the theater, and we had some time to think about it. So Renfield, 2023 Renfield. What would you give it out of 5 blood drops?
I'd give it 4 out of 5. I mean, it's almost damn near perfect, but 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, it's not perfect. 5 is perfect. You'll see in the graph up here. 4 out of 5 blood drops for me, because it was entertaining. Even the CGI shit and the stupidness, it was fun, entertaining. Put some popcorn in your mouth and laugh with the guys, and just watch a fucking kick-ass movie.
I would say up to this point of the movies that I've watched this year, this one is by far the best out of the ones I've seen so far.
Hold up. You just saw Evil Dead.
Up till this point,
Okay.
This was my favorite of the year so far.
Okay.
But then again, Evil Dead Rise was my most anticipated movie too, so there's a little more hype for that. But yes, Renfield is definitely good. Go check it out. Check it out in your theater. We gotta support our local theaters.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I'm real big on that.
Yeah.
You're gonna. I know us, the younger generation, it's all streaming, and we still collect We still collect DVDs of movies. I get shit all the time. I just downloaded this series, blah blah blah. Did you go get your DVD? Yes, I did. I like to have the shit. I like to have it. I'm old school. I like to open the cover. I like to smell the newness. I like to get the sticky thing at the end on my finger, and I can't get it off. I like to go through all that shit. Just how I am, and you are too. So
Yeah, I like to watch the special features.
yeah, I like
Can't
to know.
do that on streaming.
I don't need cable. I got my DVDs. I'm good. But until then,
Stay bloody.